Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be predicting who's going to be drafted where in the WWE Draft. Now, I was supposed to do a mock draft, but I felt like since they are back with the edgeability, like each superstar has a certain night that they can get drafted, I guess this makes it easier, even though I don't like the edgeability thing. I guess we're going to have to do it anyways. So, night one, Friday on SmackDown, they go in alphabetical order here. So, I'm just going to go in alphabetical order who's going to be drafted where. And let's start with Becky Lynch. I think Becky Lynch is going to be drafted on Raw or stay on Raw. Now, the reason for this, I know a lot of people think she can go to SmackDown or whatever. I think that the Trish and Becky storyline or whatever it is going to stay on Monday Night Raw. I don't think it's going to move over to SmackDown. Next up is Bianca Belair. This one is by default. Bianca Belair is going to be staying on Monday Night Raw. And, yeah. I mean, that's as easy as it gets. Bobby Lashley. I think Bobby Lashley is going to move to SmackDown. And I'm going to let you guys know why later on. But Bobby Lashley to SmackDown would open a whole lot of new things. We just need to see a brand new Bobby Lashley. The dude won the Under the Giant Memorial Battle Royale at WrestleMania. And even though he's fighting for the United States title at Backlash, I still feel like I want to see more out of Bobby Lashley. So a move to SmackDown would be good. Candice LeRae. They don't have her as a tag team with Mia Yim, which I was kind of surprised about. But I think Candice LeRae would be a superstar that I could see moving to SmackDown. You know, the women's division in SmackDown is terrifyingly bad. And Candice LeRae needs more TV time, 100%. So I think Candice LeRae on SmackDown would be good. Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville, I think they're going to be I want them on SmackDown. I think, like I said, you need to balance out the women's divisions in both Raw and SmackDown. And Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville are kind of a big draft pick because they're actually one of the few women's teams that actually work, I guess. So, Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville to SmackDown. Cody Rhodes, I believe he's going to be on Monday Night Raw. Now, I know a lot of people are thinking and speculating that, Roman's going to be on Raw instead. I disagree. I think Cody Rhodes is going to be the number one babyface on Raw. I can't see Roman being on Raw. Roman has been on SmackDown for a long-ass time now. And SmackDown averages, well over 2 million viewers a week. And for Fox, they're gonna wanna keep that train going. So, I think I think that Cody Rhodes is gonna go on Raw. Next up is Damage Control. They're gonna be drafted as a faction, which this is why I don't like the edgeability stuff. Because I would have rather been surprised about a potential split, but I guess we're not gonna see it. But as for Damage Control, I am going to say Raw. Now, a lot of people are going to be like, I think that if Damage Control get drafted, which according to the website says that they are, there's definitely going to be a split that it's going to get ugly and chaotic. So, for me, I think that this is the route they're going to go down. Damage Control get drafted together, and we see the split happen, basically. So, this is what I basically think. I think Damage Control gets drafted together, but technically, the brand is going to get 3 separate women's stars. Because I think Damage Control breaking up is right around the corner. The brand gets 3 fresh women faces. Now, a lot of people are going to be like, well, I think SmackDown will be a better brand for them. So if Damage Control break up, you've got 3 big women's stars on the same brand. I don't think so. I think they're going to stay on Monday Night Raw. Dexter Lumis, I think, is going to be... Dexter Lumis, I would say that I could see him going over to SmackDown. I'm gonna say Dexter Lumis and Johnny Gargano over to SmackDown. It would be refreshing to see Dexter on another brand. Dexter has been on only Raw since he's made his main roster debut. Dolph Ziggler, I would love to see on SmackDown. Dolph Ziggler is one of those guys. I don't see any light at the end of the tunnel when it comes to pushes. Maybe he'll get a random opportunity at the United States title or Intercontinental title, but it's going to be a long shot. Drew McIntyre is edgeable for the draft, despite not being on TV for a while. I think Drew is 100% going to go from SmackDown to Raw. It's time for Drew to go on Monday Night Raw. Drew's been on SmackDown forever. Drew was actually one of the staples of SmackDown months ago. So I think it makes sense for him to go to Monday Night Raw. And what will also make sense is that Drew turns heel. I think Drew. I think we've seen enough as a babyface for Drew to go back to being a heel and being brutal. Like, not even his last heel run. I want to see Drew that is absolutely willing to do anything to get things on his side. Edge, I think Edge is gonna stay on Raw. I don't see Edge going over to SmackDown, though. I just want to see Edge doing something else in the Judgment Day rivalry. I may be the only one here who knows, but moving on to Hit Row. To me, Hit Row is 100% gonna go to Raw, just as a reset for them. I mean, Hit Row is just there's a lot of things I could say about Hit Row that are not particularly pretty, but I think Hit Row needs to go to Raw. Imperium, I know we're getting a lot of Monday Night Raw stars out of the way, but Imperium 100% going to Raw. I definitely think they're going to switch the Intercontinental title and United States title around. So, I do want to see Gunther on Raw. Imperium being on Raw would be huge for that brand, and it would be. It would absolutely be. Lacey Evans, I could see being on SmackDown. Don't really care about that one. Matt Riddle, I think he's going to stay on Raw with Sammy and KO. I think it's going to be a thing. Now, a lot of people think that I can see Matt Riddle being drafted away. Matt Riddle, but I think just because Matt Riddle is teaming up with Sammy and KO, it would make sense for like a Raw versus SmackDown thing. You got the Usos drafted to SmackDown, and Sammy KO get drafted to Raw. Matt Riddle gets drafted to Raw as well, and you got that dynamic. Maximum Male Models, I think they should go to SmackDown. Like I said, they were on Raw before. I think there's a brand new opportunity that can open up. And it looks like, judging by like looking at live events and stuff, I think Maximum Male Models could be on TV soon, which I absolutely am down for. So I think that would be good for them. Mustafa Ali, I think he stays on Raw. I don't, in a 2-hour show, where are you going to fit Mustafa Ali? So I think that Mustafa Ali staying on a 3-hour show, Monday Night Raw, and plus you got main event there, I think it makes a lot of sense for Mustafa Ali to be on Raw. Next up is Natalya. I think I'm going to pick Raw here. Natalya has been on SmackDown for the longest time, and it's time for her to go to Raw. Next up is Omos. This is going to be my boldest prediction. I'm just kidding. Omos is staying on Raw. I mean, I would love Omos on SmackDown. Either way, I don't care where Omos gets drafted, even though I am an Homo sapien at heart. Next up is Shinsuke. I think he's staying on SmackDown. I don't think it makes sense for Shinsuke to go to Raw. We've already loaded up Raw already. So Shinsuke to SmackDown and the Bloodline to SmackDown as well. Roman and Solo, 100% going to be the first pick of the draft tonight. And because SmackDown has got it's SmackDown show tonight, I think they will get the first pick and use it on Roman and Solo. Next up is The Miz. I'm going to say The Miz goes over to SmackDown, and I really want The Miz to go to SmackDown. I don't want The Miz to stay on Raw. Next up is the OC, and I've got the OC going to SmackDown. I think it would be a great reset overall to see the OC on SmackDown, and plus when AJ Styles gets back, that's a pretty big draft pick deal. You got Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson. I'm still sort of on the fence about how I feel about Mia Yim being drafted with them, but I do understand that was WWE's idea in the first place. Next up is the Street Profits. I think that they're going to be split. I know they're together. I know. But this is the WWE. This can mean anything. I think Montez is going to go to Raw. Angelo Dawkins is going to go to SmackDown. Something's going to happen in which the Street Profits are going to be no more. I think it's time that we see Montez as a single star. That's what I think. Viking Raiders, I think they're going to move over to Raw and be a Raw tag team. That's what I think. And select NXT superstars. I think we're going to see Roxanne on the main roster tonight. And I think she's going to go to SmackDown. And I also think that Braun Breaker is going to be drafted. And also probably Cameron Grimes, because it's Cameron Grimes being drafted tonight. Because Cameron Grimes makes it obvious. So I think Roxanne is SmackDown. I think Cameron Grimes is going to go on SmackDown. And Braun Breaker is going to go to Raw, is what I think. Night 2, which is on Monday Night Raw, Akira Tozawa starts us off. And I think Tozawa should go to SmackDown. I think Tozawa is judging by what I saw in Raw, I think Tozawa's got a lot of potential for some good storylines. Some funny storylines in there. Alpha Academy, I think they're done. It's pretty obvious that they're going to be done. Chad Gable on Raw. Otis joins the Maximum Male Models on SmackDown is what I think is going to be the route here. Next up is Angel Garza and Herberto Carrillo. I think they're going to go to SmackDown. I have no idea what brand they're on. I have no clue what brand they're on. Asuka, SmackDown 100%. I think Asuka lost at WrestleMania to Bianca, singled the end of her on Raw. We need to see Asuka on SmackDown, and I want to see Asuka versus Rhea down the road so badly. Next up is Austin Theory, and like I said, with Imperium going to Raw, Theory is going to be to SmackDown, switching the Intercontinental and United States titles around. Next up is Baron Corbin. He's going to go undrafted. We're going to see Broke Corbin again. Boom. Braun Strowman and Ricochet, I think they're going to stay on SmackDown. I overloaded a lot of teams on Raw, so I think Braun Strowman and Ricochet are going to be an exception here. Next up is Brock Lesnar. He's staying on Raw. I don't see Brock going to SmackDown. And I don't want to have a heart attack of Brock and Roman being on the same brand again. So I think that Brock Lesnar is going to stay on Raw. Bronson Reed, I think he's going to switch brands to SmackDown. And I think all they're going to do here is basically switch this United States title rivalry to another brand. That's what I think. People may not like that, but Cedric and Shelton to SmackDown. I think they're going to go to SmackDown. I am still holding on to straws with a Hurt Business reunion. I know there's been several reports that said it's not going to happen. I'm willing to fight those reports for the better part of the Hurt Business believers, honestly. Charlotte Flair, 100%. I think she'll be drafted to Raw. She's done on SmackDown. I just want to see Charlotte Flair on Raw would be the exact refresh that we need. Dana Brooke, she was on Raw. I think SmackDown is the only right solution for her. Elias will stay on Raw. Emma will stay on SmackDown. Gargano is going to go to SmackDown with Dexter. That's what I think. Judgment Day, 100% going to be on SmackDown. I don't see Judgment Day. I think are going to go to Monday Night Raw. And for the better part of, because I think Finn Balor will want something to do with that World Heavyweight Championship. Karrion Kross, he's going to stay on SmackDown. He's feuding with Nakamura. Kevin Owens and Sami, they're going to be on Monday Night Raw. LA Knight, he better be drafted to Raw, please. Liv Morgan and Raquel, I think they should be drafted to SmackDown and should appear on SmackDown more because of that women's division. Nikki Cross, I would like to see her on SmackDown. Piper Niven, I think another one that could go to SmackDown. Rhea Ripley's going to go to SmackDown. Rick Boogs, I think he's going to stay with Elias. I want to see Rick Boogs and Elias, I still think could be a tag team. Riddick Moss, probably going to stay with Emma, or maybe separate from Emma, who knows. But I'm going to go with Riddick Moss staying with Emma on SmackDown. Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler, I think, are going to go from SmackDown to Raw. Seth Rollins, I think, is going to go to SmackDown. And I know a lot of people are a little bit up in arms about that, but I think you need to have a bit. If you're going to have Roman on a brand, I think Fox is going to also want a big baby face. And Seth Rollins is one of the biggest baby faces that you could get right now. Chauncey, I think, would be good on Monday Night Raw. Chauncey's been on SmackDown for a long time. Tamina, SmackDown. I think Tegan is going to stay on SmackDown. I want to see more TV time with Tegan. Brawling Brutes, I think, are going to go to Monday Night Raw. I think they're just going to have Brawling Brutes follow Imperium around. LWO, I think they're going to be drafted to SmackDown. Now people are like, why are you splitting them in the Judgment Day? I personally think that after Bad Bunny is done with Damian Priest, and you've also got, I think LWO should move on. And Zelina's facing Rhea, all right? You've got Damian and Bad Bunny. This whole LWO and Judgment Day thing probably could be over or should be over after Backlash. New Day, 100% should go to Monday Night Raw as a brand new tag team. That would be a big, big ad. Usos, they're going to go to SmackDown 100%. Trish Stratus, I don't think she's moving from Raw. Xia Li, I would say SmackDown. And for Monday Night Raw, I think we're going to see Grayson Waller drafted to the main roster. I think Tyler Bate is going to be drafted. And I'm also going to pull an Ilya Dragunov to SmackDown draft pick. As for Tyler Bate and Grayson Waller, I think Bate going to go to Raw. Grayson Waller is going to go to SmackDown. And yeah, that's basically it for this video. That is where I think everyone's going to be drafted. So if you guys enjoyed the video, raise a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in the SmackDown review show later on.